We're gonna go take a look at this fifth wheel Cougar we got. It's all wrapped up. Can't see decals. That's good. We need it all wrapped up. That's what it is, a Cougar. Maybe we'll see it on the back. These stairs make things easier. I'm gonna get everything wrapped up. All right. Okay. Your typical roof. So if you're looking at a roof, you want to make sure you're looking like right here, see if there's caulking in there, and then you want to tap around here, because if there's no caulking here, typically water will get in, and then you may have D-lam around here. You also want to be looking for seeing if there's any slits like in here, and you can see there's no protection on this, maybe some tape, but you may see little slits like right in the edges here. So you want to look for that, because you know, you don't want to end up getting into a roof like this here. Looks like a slight breach. You see, so that's what you want to look for. Kind of go along. Again, if you're going to buy it, thinking of buying it, don't be afraid to get up on the roof. A lot of people they take their word for it. Oh, the roof's good? Okay, thanks. And then it fails. Of course they're going to tell you the roof is good. They're not going to put the money into getting it done. They want to get it sold. So this is, you get some aging right here. That's typically, there's probably tape underneath there that's leached through. We'll check it and see. Well, one of the things that the manufacturer wants you to do when you buy a coach, it doesn't matter what year, they're going to want you to put more on. Something wrong with that system. But this is one way you'd want to be checking this. Maybe not with a sharp knife, but that's how you'd check that. You also want to check it in here. And then if you have one of these antennas, if you missed that, I'll show you there. I'm looking at the camera now. You can do that. See how it's lifting? Okay. So in here, looks like someone tried to put a little bit of something in there, but you want to have that sealed because the water will trickle down here, get in this, and then you got a sealing leak, and you won't know it because it leaks. When you see leaks on the inside, you've already got problems, because when it leaks, it's going to hit the roof deck, insulation, sealing panel, framing, all that stuff. When all of those things cannot absorb any more water, you'll see it inside. So, but the system we're going to be doing is going to have curbs on it, which much like what we've got here, you can see how that's raised up. And even over at this other one, I'll move slow so I don't blur it all out like that antenna. And also, I think I'll have that same antenna actually. And see how they're all raised up? That's what we do, and we keep well demand. You'll see, you probably watched a couple other videos, but all they want you to do is keep slobbering more caulking on. That's just not a good, that's not a good system. You can see we've already got a patch right there. And then, like right here, is already breaching. So you potentially, especially when the water's running down, if you look at this coach, it ramps down quite a bit. And looks like someone's tried to put some silicone. Silicone isn't going to stick. It's not going to stick. And it looks like it's some roof tape under there. See? And it's not sticking to it. That is what that is, roof tape. Someone tried to fix that. If it's not primed, it won't stick. You gotta use primers on this stuff. So they also went over all these because of the insert trim just failed, or the type they use is an economy type that snaps in, but water can still get in that track, and if those screws aren't sealed, water get in there. So we're gonna end up tearing all this off, of course. Let's see what we got here. Kind of give you an idea of what we got, maybe. There we go, a little better. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can peel this up out of here. Where did I go? Oh, way over here. Hey, there's the black tape. That's how they got underneath this. Black tape. Okay. And then on here, they don't even have that. It's just a mesh. Where this line is, and it's just the seam right here, which is showing through. So that's all that is. The deck seems pretty sound, so that's a plus. You want to try and do these sooner. This is that insert trim I was just telling you about. Well, it's actually right here. it just snaps in, and water can still get into that track, see? And it'll trickle down inside there, down here, and it'll just sit in there until it either dries out or tries to evaporate out. But the stuff that we use is going to snap inside there, and it'll snap over, snap in and over. That's what we're going to do. So this is our Cougar, and we're looking over there. It looks like there's a little dip over there. We obviously pulled the air conditioning. Look at all this scum and everything that builds up underneath there. So you can never get that clean. There's just a 3/4 inch gasket up underneath there. That's all there is. So all that water, you can see if I can stand back. I don't know if you can see the profile of the roof kind of rakes down this way. All that water is going to sit and slam right into that gasket. Just pow, pow, pow. I'm surprised it hasn't got more damage. You know, it's not uncommon to have quite a bit of damage in one of these style campers because the gaskets usually fail, and then when they do, you know, it starts rotting everything out. So got another patch right here. And again, that's what you want to be looking for, little slits or even breach and damage like that. I don't know if you can see that too well right there. Yeah, you want to try to look for that because those could be indicative. Like if I were to see a roof like this, you know this is a couple of signs is all ready. Just get up here and you can eyeball it. You need a new roof because you see these stripes. Put that right off the rip, you need a new roof. So it's already seen its lifetime. But any of these big gouging and scratches, those are potential breaches right there. So it won't take very much for that to pop loose, even if it's not all the way, especially on this thin stuff. It sounds good. But from over there, it looked like it had a little bit of a dip, and maybe just the roofing kind of bubbled there a little bit. But that's about us right now. So this is our Cougar. So we're going to start to tear it apart, get everything off of here, and rock and roll, and see if we can't get a new roof on this thing, right? And then it's an old shower lens right there. It's an acrylic, but I don't think we're going to be salvaging it. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's got a new one. Sometimes folks come in and they'll bring new vents, they'll bring new skylights, but when we quote a job to replace the roofing material. We expect to use your vents, we expect to use your rails here, your gutter rails, awning rails. We expect to reuse all those. Plumbing, we don't need those because we make special boots like this right here. So we don't need that base over there. I also don't need, oh, in this case it's got the refrigerators in the slide out because I don't see a refrigerator. Nope, no refrigerator base here. So we don't have that, but if it did, we'd replace the refrigerator base. And then, you know, if there's some minor stuff, minor decking, I've got some scrap here, that's no problem, but if I got to redeck it, then we'll get back with you on that. We like to let people know the possibility if we had to. You know, it would be X amount of dollars to redeck it and so forth. So, well, let's get to work. We're going to start tearing this thing apart. Like I said, we'll be making some special boots for this as well. Like I said, just like we did over on the other ones. And you'll see it as it goes along. If you've watched other ones, you know what I'm talking about then. So, but that's about where we are right now. Awesome. Let's get to work. So now we've got some booger on here. I don't know what it is. So, looks like it's glue or something. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's mold. But I got some issues here. It's really soft. So we're probably going to tear it up. You can see like that right there doesn't look well. And there's a couple other areas like right in there and in there and like right here. It's really soft. You can tell it's swelled. So it's got some damage on it. And that's what I was talking about earlier. A lot of times the way this slope is, if that air conditioner gasket, if water gets up underneath there, it'll start breaching all this. So we're probably going to replace them here, over there, one sheet here. And then up here we've got another kind of suspicious area that I don't like right here. So we're probably going to replace this piece from here to there. So we'll do those couple of sheets anyways. And in the meantime, we want to see what's up underneath this. We want to check the wires and we want to check for that stuff as well. So that's what we're working with. Got some rot right here. So we're going to put another piece in here. And then I mentioned this to the owner before. We got some issues with this. You can see we're going to try and dry it out. Not very much, but still. And then I want to open that up down there. I want to open it up. Way down there, I want to see what's going on the side there. I want to see if this insulation is wet, if there's any more rot somewhere that I don't know about. Got some DLAM going on right here, so obviously some moisture is coming in. And that usually happens when, the way they do the corner mold, if you remember from the first part of the video, they bring it up and they sit it up here. They sit it right on there. Then there's another one that sits on the roof going in this way. And all the water kind of pools in here. And if this isn't sealed exactly 100% perfectly, water can penetrate there, which usually happens. I mean, these are very, very common leaks. And then on this side looks better. It doesn't look like there's any issues at all. So, and the Finalizing looks well there. But it's not glued on. They just put this on. It's not glued on at all. It's just sitting on there. You can go and push this whole wall. And he was aware of that. He said not to worry about it. So then I saw these plates that they got covering the wires. So I come over here, and where was it? Up here somewhere. There it is. And that's a ferrule. See that metal piece in there? What it does, it starts to compromise. I'm going to see if I turn the camera. But it will start to compromise these wires. And you can see, you can even the camera will pick up how sharp it is. So we're going to put a bushing in there. So after seeing all this, you know, that doesn't look too bad, but I wouldn't trust it for the life of it. You know, once you put a roof on, you're done. If it breaks or compromises, then you'd have to tear something apart to get at it. So we're doing that, and then the other thing we're doing is we want to check all these trunk lines while we got this open, right? And so we want to check all of these, make sure there's no breaks in them, make sure everything's good on it. You know, that's kind of what we look for. Again, you can't do this afterwards, so you might as well just get it done now. The roof is open. So like this joint, we want to make sure these joints are good, make sure they're tight. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I may run a little bit more tape on that. Run some more tape on this one and check the other one as well. So we're going to just take all of this up and check it. Here's what we're going to be putting in. This is a little big. I have a whole bunch of different sizes, but this will just go inside and snap around like that. Then what we want to do is get this to fit right there. This is actually an electrical code. You got to understand, these RVs, they don't have to go by any real codes. There's no building codes or anything to these. There's an RVIA sticker on these things, and it's RV International Association or something along that lines. But anyhow, all you have to do to get RVIA certified is promise that you're going to build a new one on a new frame. That's all you have to do. You just have to promise that. Then I'm sure they get some of these other issues that they'd have to go with, like some sort of electrical codes like the GFCIs and whatnot. But this here, nah, they just throw it on there. They did have a plate on here, and that's what those little holes were for, to hold the barb of the plate on there, which was good. Then they wouldn't be throwing a fastener through it that way, and they wouldn't be putting anything going through this way. That's smart. But nothing, this is too big. I gotta get another one. There's nothing to protect it from there. So I want to make sure now that I know that, I want to make sure everything is okay. It doesn't make sense. We already had a couple of sheets that were rotted. We had that one down there. After we looked at it, we determined it was rotted, and then this one was. So for the time it's going to take us to get a piece, cut it, and put it back on, we just said the heck with it, just put a full sheet on. So now we got those, and then we got this one here. So, and then once you try to loosen some of these up, sometimes you get some, you know, breakage and boogerage that tear it all up. So, and also it's not glued. So I'd like to glue all this down and get it nice and tight and strong. And they also put this is the way it was sitting. They had the decking sitting on here, which humps up the sheathing. This needs to be set back down in here. So you can see it right there. It's got to be set in this way, but they don't want to take time for that. They got to get them built, get them out, get them sold. That's their motto. They chant it like Oompa Loompas on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you know. But anyhow, that's what we're going to check all of that after we check all the ductwork to make sure it's all set. You see, make sure these trunk lines are okay. If we need more tape, that's what he's got over there. He's going to be putting more tape on there. So, and we'll be checking the rest of it out. All right. So on the back end of this canyon, I wanted to see how bad some of this rot was, and it's wet in there. Like, that's still wet. What are you going to see in there? It's wet down here. that's not well. And I want to make sure the insulation isn't wet. And then we have some moisture on here. So we're going to take the light off, take this apart, get some air behind it at the very least. There's a bug. Here's the bugs. There's another one. So I want to make sure we got no bugs in there. Let's get them out, see what kind of bugs we got, and then check everything out. Doesn't look like it reached the back wall, but you can see they don't glue these on. See, there's no glue in there. That's the frame. You can see the aluminum frame right there. There's no glue. They just, the only thing holding this back panel on is the window, light, probably that there. Yeah, anything that's mounted. And once you take the glass out, you know, like I said, and those marker lights on the ladder, this thing will fall right off. You don't have to work too hard for it. We'll take that marker light off. I just want to open this up a little bit and see what's going on in there, because it just doesn't bode well for me. And I'd hate for it to go out that way and then have issues with it. So, okay, well, that's where we are. My suspicions were correct. And like I said, it is wet. I don't know if you can see how wet it is, but it is. It's soaked. We're going to get a blower in there. Okay, so here's another one. See the ferrule in there? Look how bent that thing is. So, look at there. Got holes in the wires. That one went right through the center out there. So that probably isn't going to bode well. Then I like to try to see, just out of more curiosity, of how much compromising there was. See if I can turn this thing around, so I'll twist it up. Kind of get an idea. It don't look too terribly bad. So, but I certainly don't like that going through there. I don't like that at all. This thing, they must have, when they put this in, I'm trying to figure out how that thing got bit in there, but it did. So we're going to put a ferrule in there, not a ferrule, a bushing in there, and like I said, we just keep checking everything. I want to make sure everything is all set before we just, you know, close this thing back up, because you don't want to do it after the fact and then go, hey, got some problems in there, right? So here's the pieces for the roof deck that they cut out for the antenna. That adds a little weight to this coach. You know, the only worst part about that is maybe if there was ever some, which you probably wouldn't hear it anyways, some rattling. But you have to be in it while it's traveling, and I don't think they recommend that. So, but what we got?
Try to fix it with screws, put it to the side.
Oh, wow, look at there.
Put solid stock in there.
We got some cracked out Raptors there. Oh, they tried to put some screws in on the side right there. That's what he's saying. See it? They tried to fix it, and I didn't. So we're gonna fix that. And check all this too. Make sure everything's looking groovy. You know, like I said, it's, you want to find this out now. We'll pull all these staples, and like I said, we're gonna put 1/2-inch plywood on here. I'm not gonna put OSB on there. I'm just gonna go get some plywood, and we'll put it on. Like I said, we'll check all those trunk lines too. I like to make sure they're all good. Make sure they're not broken apart or anything. I think it just goes to right there. We'll check that. That's what's good about the way we got the shop set up. You walk right around. Comfortable. Can't do a good job if you're uncomfortable or you're always trying to prevent yourself from falling. Over there. Make sure everything's good there. Like I said, we'll check all these, make sure we don't have any wires coming up here. We still got one more sheet to go right here. So we'll check that. There's no joint in any of that right there. Well, there's a joint. So this thing's good. So this will all go back to here, but I think we already checked this. Is it goes back down to here, and we got more tape on this one. And here, there's the tape anyway, so we taped it up better. So did you get tape on this other one that's coming around? Did you tape that one? And then double check anything else up there if you needed to. I already did, all the way up there. I don't think we need it, but right here, because it only has the one AC, so it's going to shoot back up there. I want to make sure that that joint, see how it is right here? See that one? I want to make sure, pull that insulation out of there. See that joint? Make sure that's here. Put a little more love on it. All right, let's get to work. All right, so we are coming along. So we got our, here I can get this camera down here and show you what we got. So we got the plastic piece in there. You really see that, see there? We got it in this other one down there too. And then we checked all the trunk lines. And we just fixed that truss right there. Put a piece of stock in it. Now what we're getting to do is put the decking on. We got there. We're going to run a 1/2 inch on here. So, still trying to drive this wall out on the back side here. We put some more mold kill on it. So, and that's not even 1/4 inch. That's actually cardboard right here. That's what that is. So, on here, this is Luan right here. This is cardboard. And then we're going to put, if you look back at the other video, see, we had that indentation because the coach is just a shade wider than the decking. So what they did, they just omitted, put some tape on there, I believe. And but now you have that gap there, and that's not going to be good for the roofing to sit like that. So we made up some edge molding. So we got that, ran it all the way down. We'll go back, make sure everything's all tight. We also glued them in. We didn't just staple them down, we glued them all down. You can see here, we'll get that one a little tighter, but you can see all the glue in here. We glued it all down because I don't want the staples or anything to kind of work loose. We're still going to put the buffer strip on here. We're still going to do that protective strip, but I didn't want that protective strip to carry the gap. So it'll get rolled around and look nice and clean and tight. So we'll straighten out. So you're going to have turn bar right up on here anyways. Roof is going to roll over. So we'll get all that cleaned up on here. Whatever staples didn't take, but it's all glued in. So everything's about ready to go. And then what we do is, you can see we got a sander, and we just kind of hit the high spots, because sometimes you come into transitions like this and you got an angle coming up this way and then another sheet. Sometimes you get a little burp on there. It's basically the geometry of it. It's the hypotenuse of this piece coming up, which is going to be, well, basically taller than this sheet coming back down. But anyhow, that's what we're doing with the sander, cleaning all that up. Then we're going to put our protector strips over the whole thing like we normally do, getting the plumbing, getting that ready. So it's already cut, but I've got to make the boots for those, and then everything else is pretty much all set. So we're going to try and get some roofing on here today. This is the last of it, and we get all the strips cut, so we should be able to put them on and clean up around the ladder. Yeah, so this is what we got going on. We have got this passenger side, we've got it already glued. We've got the glue on here for the driver's side, but the passenger side has already been laid. You can see we've got the, not that the passenger's been laid, because we don't know that, but the passenger side roofing has. We've got all our buffer strips here, we've got all our protective strips, everything's all set. So we got to roll this out, and it's kind of awkward to roll these out. That's why I tell everybody these are not DIYs. These roofs that come up, this one that comes up like this, and then it'll level off a little bit, and then it drops down, plus it's got camber. These are tricky to lay in, okay? They really are. So, and really, sometimes we'll take the camera, just show you how we roll it over, but this is gonna be, it'll probably take us 15-20 minutes to roll this thing over. So. All right, we are done. rvroof.pro, not .com, .pro. This is the month and the year we installed the roof, so we can keep track of it when it comes back for inspections, or if the person goes to sell this coach, I don't want anybody trying to talk them down and say, hey, I got to put a roof on this thing, they're all bad. Not this one. And you can say, hey, it was just put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 years ago, whatever it is. So, let's see, we got boots already put in there. That's problematic. Those there, this is the way they're mounted, just like this. There's a base, a circle base like that there. Normally they want you to swab all that on there. But then as you climb the ladder, it racks and flexes, and then you start getting leaks. So you're not going to get them with that. That's done. It's all sealed in there. You can wiggle that all around, it'll be fine. So we've got the stands right here on the air conditioner. That just gives us some balance. And then we've also got a flashing detail on there. Let's see, I'll hop over here a little bit. So we've got a flashing detail on there. What that does, you get all this rain coming down, especially on this roof. This roof slopes down. It slopes down, so you can kind of see it there. But as this roof, as the water is just gushing down there, this is earlier. If you watched, I didn't think there was too much of a problem, but that decking was rotted under there, and probably because water had breached up underneath that air conditioning gasket. So there is a flange on there on these curbs that I make. It's a counter flash that I put on there. And then this one out front here, what that does is when the water is coming down, I don't want it to kind of trickle back up underneath the gasket again, right? So we're going to solve that problem. So this drops down past the counter flash. That's the way that's the design of that. So we've got 2 strikes of caulking all the way down here. We always put 2 strikes on there because if you run across with a caulking gun from time to time, you'll see or hear it pop or crackle. You just injected an air bubble. So that being said, it's better to put 2 strikes on. What are the chances of one air bubble landing on top of another? Because you don't want that air bubble to breach out or, you know, pop as you're going down the road, and it gets all kind of shaking and flexing and twisting, right? So that's why we put 2 strikes on there. Then we put a special, that insert trim goes over and around. I'll show you that afterwards. But this is a good example of the counter flash right there. See? It's sticking out there, and then let's see if I get my finger over here to show you. Blurred finger. I'll bring it back. So when the water comes down on the air conditioner, it'll hit that, and it'll let me back up here. This here will go below that counter flash. There's one on the air conditioner as well. Okay, these are all tapered anyways. Water can't roll back into them, but it sheds the water off. And the water that's, obviously this is the back side, but water coming in from the front would hit that and get diverted out. That's the way it works. All right, so you see we made this nice curb right here for the antenna. These have to be within 3% level, is what it says, so that's what we did. You see everything else is all done. The plumbing caps, those are special boots I made. Those boots are, that cap, if it pops off, the only place that water could ever go is into the holding tank. That's it. So I've also got a shower lens over there, same design. So everything's done, everything's wrapped up good, everything's tight. And these, we don't sell any of these components. These are not DIY videos. There's a lot that we go through to put these together. I couldn't possibly video them all. They're not tutorials by any means. We put these together so the customer can see all the work that we did for them. If you get some tips out of it, hey, that's great. But they're not DIYs. We don't sell any of the curves. We don't sell any boots. We don't sell anything. We're just a service center, so those are all proprietary to us. So that's that. And then now the reason why we're kind of standing out here a little bit with the scaffold stretched away is because we come in, I want to check the tape down inside here, and then we also do the same in that corner, and also the opposite corner over here inside the slide out, and then this one over here. We do that because we want to make sure everything's all set. I don't want the coach rolling out and then, you know, they come and say, hey, I got a leak. Well, it's not coming from the roof. It's actually coming from a slide out. So then we also check, make sure this is sealed, and it does look pretty sealed well on top of the awning, so we probably don't have to do anything there, but we like to check all that stuff just to be certain, and that's about it. So let me show you some of the stuff here that we got going on in regards to the membrane. You can see the big mess in our shop as I navigate over onto our other catwalk here. All right. So, where did I put all that stuff? There it is, right here in front of my face. Well, this is a membrane. This is a 60 mil commercial grade. This is Carlisle's brand. It is a 60 mil structured TPO, and you can see the little weaves in here, maybe on the edge of it. See them on the edge, those little whiskers? That's the, and you can probably see lightly the screen that's in there. That's basically a mesh. That mesh helps resist against tree branches and hail and things like that. So obviously this is the other side. There's a 10 piece that we had, but you probably see the little whiskers right there a little better. And this is a 60 mil. So this is easily twice as thick as an RV roof. This is a commercial roof. There's a commercial membrane. This is what you're going to get on a hotel, an office building, a library, a restaurant. Same exact material. And you're going to find the same exact curbs. You know, well, I shouldn't say same exact, but you'll find curbs on there. If you were to Google commercial roof images, you would see all the air conditioners, skylights, vents, blowers, everything is all elevated up off the roof line on a curb, basically a box. And then it's got flashing that goes around there which is the part that's welded to the roof. That's all welded in there. All of this is welded in there. Everything, as you can actually see some of the shadow lines from the welds. That's how good penetration we got on it. So, but you're going to find that on a commercial roof if you Google the images. If just slopping them down to the roof, putting butyl under in it, and then driving 28 screws around a vent and slobbering it with caulking, if that were to work, you would imagine how much money these big manufacturing plants that have acres of roof, you'd imagine how much money they would save from not having to build curbs and have all the detail put in to make sure they stay watertight. Just have someone run around with a caulking gun. It doesn't work. That's why these RVs are always failing, because the industry doesn't care. They just want to get them out, get them built, get them out, get them sold. That's it, plain and simple. That you'll give you barely a year. You'll get a year. Most of the time you're going to find your issues with the roof. After a while, the membrane, of course, will fail. But a lot of times, as you can see, like in this case around the air conditioner, we had rotted wood. Over here we had some rotted wood. We had some more up there, I believe. So all that being said, it doesn't work. It's just not a good system. But they'll get the year warranty. After that, it's yours. Now within that year, they're going to tell you, hey, get up there and put more on that caulking. Like I keep saying, the only one's putting more on is a moron. That is a terrible system. And the only ones making out on that is Dicor, because it is their cash cow. That's why they don't reformulate it. There is no reason for caulking marketed and intended for exterior use to fail within 3 to 4 months, and you have to reapply it. There isn't one on the market that I know of except for Dicor, literally. And I've been doing this for 35 years plus. So I've had 35 years in commercial work, and then whatever we've been doing this for, 5, 6 years, I guess. So I've got plenty of years in all this stuff. I don't know, probably a lot older than I sound on this video. But anyhow, quit laughing over there. He's laughing at me. Yeah, that squeaky here, that's not the walk boards, that's my bones right there rattling. But that's what we checked right there, all the tape and everything. And the tape, I don't like that system. Eventually it's going to fail. When we do those roofs, we do metal on them. But for now, it works. All right, so let's get into the insert trim. Here's the insert trim, okay? And you can see, this is a piece of black. You can't buy this. I had to special order it. But anyhow, so I'll show you the white that you can buy. This is DX-946-1W. Whoop, let me get the camera back on it. I was thinking and not even holding the camera right. See that groove, how it's in the channel? It locks all the water out. This is typically what they use right here. And you can see how easy it slides around. Then the water gets down in that track and it travels. So that's why we use this. So this is the insert trim that we use. Like I said, this is the model number or the stock number on it. The product number is DX-946-1W. I know guys always are hitting me on YouTube. Hey, what is it? What brand is it? And so forth. So that's, you should be able to find it on Amazon. I know I saw it up there and sent a couple links. You can check a couple other videos or something. This piece here came up and sat on the roof. And then there was another one that sat on the roof, and it made this corner right in here. And that's where we had some rot that got down into the wall. So we relaminated all this back for them. And then the same on there. I don't want that. I want the water off the roof. So we just cut it back. You know, that's it. You don't need any more than that. It's done. This is all sealed all the way down to here. You know, just don't put it on top. I mean, we load all of this right here. So, and that stuff is really strong. So this product that we're using along the edge, that's a Chemlink product. It's called Duralink 50. Behind this is M1, another Chemlink product. That's a more of a bonding type of caulk adhesive. And then once we get that on there, we strike it down, and we'll put this first strike on. And then once that cures, we go back and put a second strike. So you get plenty of sealant on there for sure. And then the 50 is more flexible than the M1 is. That's why we put it on as a cap, and it's compatible. So well, we appreciate you watching. And if you didn't subscribe, you can, because we post a lot of these videos up. And what we're trying to do is just educate people. I know they're expensive, and if you're shopping around looking for a roof system you put on your coach, if you like your coach, you intend to keep your coach, and if you intend to come on in, you know, keep in mind that we come across a lot of things that we don't know what we have to work on. Like there's a Montana video. That thing was a runaway train. There was a lot of work on it, but my point is that it throws our calendar off when we do all that work. We can't rightly just get a coach out for the sake of getting another one in. We don't do that to anybody. People come in, they want top quality work, that's what we do. But if you are comparing prices and so forth, obviously you want to make sure you got a good roof system on there, because this is your shelter. This is it. If this isn't put on right, then it doesn't matter. I mean, you're going to have leaks everywhere, and you'll end up throwing that money away. Especially some of these guys that run around and say, hey, I can throw that thing on for a couple of bucks. You may think you're saving some money, but I promise you, you're probably going to be calling me back saying, hey, I had someone put it on and the thing failed. You know, the inspections on here come back annually. You know, we'd like to see them within 30 to 60 days. If you could do that, that's awesome. If not, we show people how to do an inspection, but we want to see it annually if we can. So just keep that in mind. And again, if you are thinking of coming into the shop for us to do the work, just please be patient with us. You know, sometimes we have coaches in here a lot longer than we think, and like I said, it throws our calendar off, and we just don't want anybody disappointed in us. You know, we're trying to do the best we can, but it takes time to put all these little details together into these things. So, well, again, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.